You already know that one of the major narratives that we will have in the world of trading in the coming years is artificial intelligence, also called by those who already have many years in this algorithmic trading machine learning. Well, in today's video we are going to show you 3 of the best indicators that use artificial intelligence and are also free in TradingView, so you can adapt them to your style and get to improve your trading. Welcome to the Trader's Game. And before we start, remember that in the description you have the links to join us in our Telegram community, where every day we post charts and analysis of what is happening in the financial markets. And also the trading bonus page, which has been updated and have added new promotions and free bonuses, for all those who are starting in the world of trading. Do not forget to leave your email if you want to receive a weekly newsletter with everything that has happened during those days. The first of them is called Volume Supertrend AI, with that extra artificial intelligence to collect and improve the data that we are seeing in the market. Basically, it is a super trend supported with artificial intelligence. The first thing we are going to do is to go to the configuration part and change the 3 for a 6, and in the data part the 10 for 21. Finally, we will go to the factor part and change 3 for 2.7. As always, the part of style I leave it more to your taste. We do not have to change practically nothing, and something quite curious is that in particular this indicator is that if we want to change the main colors we have to go to the data entry, not to the style. Here below, as you can see, we can change the color of the super trend that appears on the chart. For example, so that you notice it a little more, I will give a red color a little more striking. There you have the change, and neutral we will leave it in that same blue. We give it to accept and thus we would have the indicator. The first thing we have to keep in mind is that being a super trend, it is always going to be more effective in high time frames for medium and long-term operations. For example, in 1-hour candles we can see how this green point marks the beginning of a possible uptrend, which is confirmed by this green continuation arrow, and also by this one here. So the plan would be quite clear, at the moment that the price changes trend, in this case from bearish to be in a neutral zone, and then the super trend turns green. The only thing we would have to do is to take that operation. I always tell you that to this type of trend indicators it is advisable to add some information with other basic indicators, such as the RSI or MACD, to generate some more confirmation and especially to know the point at which we should charge. For example, looking at this structure, as I am looking for long-term operations, I would make my first entry exactly when that green point marks us, and then I would look at how the structure is forming, i.e. here we could see several interesting breaks in this area where the price breaks this small range that we have down here, rests again, and continues to rise. Having already this data, we could place the stop loss in a fixed way below these previous lows that is already marked, and seeing the ratio or the coefficient of our operation we could take profits, for example in the previous highs, and as you can see we would get a 2.10% profit operation in spot. Then the price would continue sideways and we would find this arrow signal, which means that the trend is consolidated, that there is a higher probability that it will follow that upward direction. So in this case, where we already come from a fairly consolidated range, with highs and lows of the structure, we could consider this area as fixed lows, take our entry at that point, stop loss again below, and look for another operation, for example of ratio 1 to 1, so we would have already completed perfectly both a safer profit at the beginning of that uptrend, and another second quick profit with the continuation of the same. We will still add this other indicator, the OBV MACD, click on it and we will see something like this. We go directly to configuration, we change the length to 8, the type of the average we change it to EMA, the length of the MA we will place it in 12, the MACD in 38, and the Len 5 in 13. Then in the style section, to see everything much clearer, we will change the line by area, and so we will have everything better for that quick visualization and that our brain already associate things better. I personally will also change that blue color for the typical green, and I will also put the red. I give it accept, and this indicator will help us exclusively if we want to use this super trend for scalping in a minute, because as you see it gives us an extra confirmation when there are those trend changes, and if we see that wave is far away from the zero zone and in green means that this entry is good. We place our operation, stop loss by the previous lows, and we can look for a ratio of 1.5 to 1, or simply let run that operation until we have a red candle that breaks that super trend, as would happen in this area. At that time we charge our operation and wait again for another trend change. Here, a little further on, always after passing through a neutral zone in blue, we have another signal. We place our operation, in this case in short. We first look for that take profit in ratio 1.5, and then we could let the rest of the operation run. Even so, in this case the price already crosses the super trend at this point, so we would close the entire operation. However, a little later again would coincide that we have another downtrend signal also linked to a red zone of the lower indicator. We place our short again, and as you see we would get a completely spectacular profit taking. The second indicator with artificial intelligence that has impacted me most in recent months is called machine learning Lorentzian classification. As you can see, already used by more than 12,000 people, and is one of the selections of the community because it gives us a lot of data when operating. As you can see, even takes a few seconds to load completely because it gives us a lot of data. Personally, I recommend it for temporalities more pulling towards high averages. At least I would say that 15 minutes, since for scalping we will come much better, for example the previous indicator, as I have shown you, or the third that I will show you later. In the part of data entries we have many options. I for example usually also place this part of show default exits, because apart from marking us for example here this entry in long, also after a while we get an X that tells us that it is a good area to take profits. As you can see, normally it always does it at the fourth candle. It does not have much more, so this is left to your taste. If what you do is that scalping or day trading, yes, it can come in handy, but if you are looking to operate the complete trend it will not be of much use. But if you also mark the dynamic exits, as you can see, these X's are marked every time the trend changes. That is to say, every time a candle breaks and closes below the average, for example in this case changing from bullish to bearish. The rest of the options are more to taste of each one. We can leave it as it comes by default, and in style more of the same. These small numbers that you are seeing are the numerical representation of the strength of each candle. That is to say, here we can see how these red candles of negative trend are -2. That is to say that the bearish strength would have a -2, which is very low, and that is why, as you can see, the price goes up again and the positive candles around here already increase that number to 8. While that 8 continues, the price continues to rise. In this candlestick we already see a 6, so it is a sign that shows us weakness because we come from an area of green candlesticks with an 8, so a 6 is less. The trend begins to lose strength, and as you see the price falls again. In this part of the top right you see a small menu where it puts a generic win rate of this strategy, as if it were a kind of short backtesting in the last 59 trades with a 47.5% win rate. There already depends if the operations that we win are of a much higher percentage than those we lose, as we would be more or less hitting only 50% of operations. But of course, if in which we hit we win 10% and in which we lose only lose 2%, we would be winning in the long run, a barbarity. Still, as I said at the beginning, this indicator is more oriented to high temporalities, to catch those trends completely. As you see now in 4 hours that win rate already rises to 60%, and we can see in a much clearer way how we could operate all this stretch and take a percentage greater than 6% in spot. This type of indicators for very volatile assets such as Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency can come in handy, not only to make successful operations but also to avoid many losses, as it warns us when trends are stronger or weaker, if we are in the right direction or a reversal awaits us. Last but not least would be the machine learning KNN-based strategy indicator. In this case there is already a new update, so we will take this one that says update. They are from the same creator and have also been awarded by the community. We click on it. As always, these indicators come very loaded, so it takes a few seconds and we would see something like this. In the part of configuration where it says indicator, we can choose if we want some in particular. This is more for expert traders, but the most normal thing is to leave it in all so that it obtains the data of all as a whole. The same happens in the filtering of signals by volume or volatility. We will leave it in both again, and in the part of style is always to your taste. You are already seeing that in this case in high timeframes does not work too well. We have many fake signals and we should filter them somehow. The first thing is to place an SMA, a simple moving average, as always in length of 200 to know if we should rely only on the buy or sell signals depending on the prices above or below, and we go to lower timeframes, which is where this indicator works spectacularly. The purpose of this video was not only to show you these indicators, but also to bring you different trading styles. We have seen them for high timeframes, for very small timeframes in 1 minute scalping, and now this would be for low and medium timeframes. As you can see in this case the price is below that moving average, so we would only have to pay attention to those sell signals. If you notice, if we made an entry in each of these signals then the price would start to go down. The same would happen in this one here. In this case we would have a single signal that again would result in a spectacular operation. I personally like to use it more in 15 minutes, and especially adding a little price action or basic knowledge of trading. For example, here we have a trend movement that breaks right in this area, and just after we already know that after this break of the trend the price should fall, and also being near this moving average we have an area of great resistance. We can see it here with a rebound to the millimeter of this candle down. So if we get a signal in short like this we should take advantage of it. We place the stop loss by the previous highs and let it run until, for example, that first take profit in ratio 1.5 and then the rest of the operation into our liking, being able to take us even a ratio of almost 6, an absolute madness. As always, I hope you liked our work. If so, please leave us a nice like, it's free, and let us know in the comments what you thought and if you have already adapted them to your trading. Do not forget also to stop by the description, where we will always leave you our free Telegram community, and the official page of Trading Bonus, where all those who are looking for the best platforms to trade cryptocurrencies, Forex, stocks, you will have the opportunity to do so with an initial bonus completely free of charge. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video of the Trader's Game.